All right, so as we get done with 2019 and we enter into 2020 and you guys are setting up your New Year's resolutions for maybe getting a little bit more active in your investment profile, you're looking at your best options, what account you might want to get some exposure to. In this video, I'm going to jump you into M1 Finance, which is a discount broker platform. It's really kind of a favorite of a lot of new investors. Very simple to use, it's a lot of fun. Makes investing fun, but not only that, but they allow you access to the market for free. And I think if I were to do it over again and go back when I was 20 years old, if I was going to seek my exposure in the stock market, I think there would be one product and one product alone that I would look at to really start my flagship diversified approach to investing in the stock market. In this video, we're going to be talking about Vanguard's S&P 500 option. It really is the most simple way that new investors can seek out their exposure to the market. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned for the entire video. 10 minutes could change your life. It really could introduce you to that one wealth building product out there that offers investors that diversified base, that exposure to a low expense product on the market, and really get you that start that you're looking for in the market, and the best chance of setting yourself up for some wealth building of your own if you're looking to go from a non-investor to an investor. So I'm going to drop you into M1 Finance, guys. We're going to take a little bit deeper of a dive in the S&P 500 Index ETF, ticker symbol VOO. Please enjoy. All right, so it's inevitable that there's going to be a ton of people who are looking for the easiest entry to the stock market into 2020. This in front of you is that easiest way. I thought there'd be a ton of new investors. If I was 20 years old and was looking to do it all over again, I would look no further than this one fund. And I think there's going to be a lot of people who are monitoring not only YouTube, but social media in general, trying to get an idea of that perfect portfolio. And I think a lot of people are going to fall victim to reviewing the 10 or 15 stocks that people are declaring through YouTube. And they may win with them, they may lose with them. This is really one of the best ways that you can seek out diversification right up front. Get yourself involved in some of those companies that you know and are familiar with. The S&P 500 is made up of typically around 510, just a little over 500 of the largest cap stocks in the U.S. stock market. So really gets you into that market that you should be looking at as a primary option. I mean, if you're looking abroad at some general large cap markets or some dividend income, there's definitely some options out there for you. But I typically would look at this as a really good first option for people who are looking to get that broad exposure in the market. So I'm just going to kind of review this holding from Vanguard's S&P 500. The ticker symbol is VOO. Obviously, you want to do your own research and checking this stuff out. But just to point out a couple attributes of this product, very simple. I'm now on the platform called M1 Finance. So for you guys that are not familiar with this, the Independent Investor Channel is affiliated with M1 Finance. We could receive a small compensation if you do use the link in the description below to get yourself some further information on the M1 platform. I'm actually in my account now. I am an active user on M1 Finance. I'm satisfied with the platform. It's a good one, and it's worth at least introducing new folks to investing. If you do opt for the S&P 500 from Vanguard, I've already started this pie. That of which I'll share in the description below. This function allows me to just share this. So you can basically invest in this exact pie that we're going over in this video. And when it says here that there's one holding, you basically own the entire market. And this is the description. The VOO is aimed at tracking the S&P 500. It is a cap-weighted ETF, which is good. Your largest amount of the holdings are going to go to the top.
holdings in the portfolio, and then on down the line, it's going to be adjusted accordingly based on the size of the company. So it's really aimed to match or mirror what the performance of the S&P 500 is. And if we just look at this over the last 5 years, performance has been about 52.93. Now, it's interesting enough, but this does not include this dividend yield that's paid. So the S&P 500 is made up of quite a few dividend yielders in the basket of stocks that the S&P represents. And when those dividends are paid, you'll obviously get a small stipend from those dividends that they're paid as a fund holder. The expense ratio over the fund right now is an anemic 0.03, extremely acceptable with the level of quality that you get in this product. Most Vanguard flagship products, which this is one, boasts that they are in the top 90th percentile for providing investors the lowest expense for entry in a comparable ETF. There's a lot of different S&P 500 index ETFs. I'm just chronicling this one from Vanguard just for demonstration's sake, but we can look at how this has performed. Very consistent. We've got good drawdowns here. This is last year during December. Look how hard this got hit. That's going to happen. Okay, just presents nice buying opportunities. If you were looking to dollar cost average this portfolio and just invest in the one, it's really simple and very clean. A lot of new investors don't want to be overwhelmed. They want to know how and what they can buy to provide themselves the easiest access to the stock market, and this provides that entry. There's no easier way to seek your exposure to the market than this very product right here. And then using M1 Finance is absolutely an optimal option out there, as it does provide you free access to these ETFs as you dollar cost average this and portfolio reinvest over time. None of those services will cost you anything whatsoever, as it's a free investment platform to invest in. But as we work back here, you're making money. You're making money at 1 year. You're making money at 3 years. You're making money at 5 years. Go back, and just the last quarter has been up 7.5%. So when people talk about investing being gambling, I really think you need to probably take a second look and justify for yourself. You're going to have years of negative return in the S&P 500. It's just inevitable that it's going to happen, okay? And it's been really difficult to explain that to investors now, with the performance of the market over the last few years has just been on fire. But I know there's still people out there who are going to want to get invested in the market, and I would say this really does give you that nice diversification to where if it does draw back a little bit and come off of these highs, that you have the opportunity to just add to this one fund. And that's, I think, what a lot of new investors are looking for, is easy, straightforward access to the stock market without a whole lot of crazy potential for radical swings to the downturn or picking the wrong stock that can really be a drag on the portfolio, and it can result in underperforming the market. This really does provide what a lot of investors, and new investors especially, overlook, and that is the power of at least matching the market from year in and year out. On an average, this is rendered well over 10% per year. With that said, you still have some of those years that are problematic, and you just got to stay grounded and stay true to your program. But this fund allows you to do just that. So I thought it would be fun to roll out this as just a new investor's portfolio option for 2020. This is it. If I had it to do over again, this would be the account, or the account and the product. You can buy the VOO in any account that you choose. But the Vanguard's S&P 500 is a product that you can own in any account. I've just used M1 Finance to demonstrate the power of the S&P 500 and owning this one product, what it yields, what it'll cost you, and what it gets you. The ability to dollar cost average, check. The ability to have diversification, check. The ability to have some portfolio reinvestment of these dividends, and a lot of bang for your buck. If you're looking to go from a non-investor to investor, I would look no further than this option. If you were looking to get invested in the stock market in 2020 in the best possible way, and the least potential for any type of underperformance when compared to the benchmark. So guys, thank you so much for this. I'll kick you back into YouTube. I really appreciate you joining me for this Vanguard's S&P 500 video on the easiest way to seek exposure to the market in 2020. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, guys, so we've come back out of M1 Finance. Really hope you enjoyed this. A lot of people will say that investing correctly is boring. It's like watching paint dry. So a lot of people will opt for trying to make up a dividend portfolio or a portfolio that consists of 10 to 15 stocks, and you really run the risk of throwing darts at a dartboard. Some may perform, some may outperform, but it only takes one to drag down your portfolio. And the S&P 500 Index Fund through the ETF VOO allows you to guarantee yourself to at least match the market. And for new investors, it really is the most simple way to gain your exposure to the stock market. Give yourself the opportunity to get some legs under you and get some experience in the market. Go through some down days, go through some up days, get yourself mentally conditioned to becoming an investor. A lot of people will jump in and they'll get really way too overexposed to the market and subject their money to a severe downturn, and it scares them off of the stock market. And that's not what we are intending to do. We're intending to show people the power of investing in the market and using some strategy behind it. And the S&P 500 really allows you to deploy a lot of the strategies that we talk about and give you that best shot of being able to wealth build for yourself going forward. So guys, if it's your first time, tune into the message. You want to hit the subscribe button, help us support the channel, leave your comments at the bottom of the video. You want to share the video with anybody out there looking to get some introductory information on the stock market and provide them the answer to that question of if you were looking for the easiest way to enter into the stock market in 2020. Bring them onto the channel, man. We provide those answers for those folks that are seeking out those answers to that very question. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the video, and good luck in your investment future.